What's up, guys? We're gonna do a reaction on the Titanic survivor. I told you guys I was coming back with another reaction, and the survivor's name is F.W. Prentice, and he talks about his last moments on the Titanic. So, without further ado, let's get into this reaction, guys.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
There were only 705 survivors. Few of them, of course, are still alive today, but amongst them is Major Frank Prentice from Bournemouth. Now, Major, you worked in the purser's office of the ship. You were only 18 at the time, and you were in your cabin here in the midships of the Titanic when the collision occurred. Now, what was the first you knew of the disaster?
Well, we came to a sudden stop. That's the first I knew about it. And it was just like jamming your brakes on a car. There was no impact, no great impact. You couldn't feel. It was just a bit of a shudder, and she stopped.
Now, when people realised the ship was actually sinking, were there scenes of great panic?
At the end, it was chaotic at the end.
Yeah, what was happening?
Well, everybody was crying, praying, trying to get into the few lifeboats that were left. No.
That's crazy when he said that after they had hit the iceberg, that Titanic just stopped, and it almost felt like they were going to keep going, but some of the people didn't even realize what had happened. But let's keep it going. That's crazy, man.
Pretty sad at the end.
You met a woman, didn't you, and you gave her some advice?
Yes. Well, Mrs. Clark, I got her into a lifeboat. She was having trouble getting her life jacket on.
What?
So we fixed that for her and told her, and she didn't want to leave her husband. That was the trouble. Half of the women didn't want to leave their husbands. But anyway, I got her into a lifeboat as a precautionary measure, and she said, well, can my husband come with me? I said, no. He'll follow on later on.
Well, now, how did you get off yourself?
Well, I dropped off the stern just before she sank.
So you went right up to the stern here.
It was quiet up there.
Presumably the stern was a long way out of the water by
Well, she was almost vertical when I left her. I was hanging onto the board.
She was like straight up like that.
It says keep clear propeller blades.
Wow.
But at the very end, I was lying on it. And then I let go, and I just missed the propellers on the way down.
How big was the drop?
God, I don't know. Well over 100 feet.
I believe you've still got the watch you had at the time.
Yes, I have.
Can we have a look at that?
Yes.
You still
what
got
time did the ship
watch
actually sink?
Amazing.
I think she went down about 2:15.
Right, well, here's the watch, and the watch says 2:20. So the watch kept going after you'd hit the water, which presumably was freezing.
Yeah, absolutely full of ice and bits of ice floes and little bergs all around us.
Now, eventually you managed to get into a lifeboat.
Yes.
Did you meet Mrs. Clark again then?
Yes, I met her, and I sat next to her, and she wrapped a blanket round me and tried to keep me a bit warm.
And
I was nearly a frozen solid.
What about her husband?
Her husband was drowned.
What are the myths of the Titanic? Was the band playing Nearer, My God, to them?
Yes, yes.
Did you hear that?
I heard that. I heard that when I went forward the second time.
The violin song.
To put some stewardess into a lifeboat that I found. They didn't know where to go or what to do. And on my way back, I heard the band playing, Nearer My God to Thee, and them singing.
What about this theory that some of the men dressed up as women to get into the lifeboats?
I don't know. I didn't see any of that. I know there were a lot of men saved. There were 80 firemen. I think there were about 70-odd stewards. And a lot of men saved. I don't know how they got away, but they didn't swim. Of course, there were only 7 picked up that lived.
Who do you blame for this catastrophe?
I blame the bridge. I think a lot of the blame was on Bruce Ismay, the chairman.
He was the chairman of the shipping line.
He was the chairman of the shipping line. I'm very much afraid he influenced captains.
I remember doing a podcast. Wow, this brings back so many things. Frank Prentice. So, pause this for a minute, but he talked about Bruce Ismay. I just heard him say Bruce Ismay, and I think he was one of the owners of the ship or something like that. And they wanted the ship to move faster. He wanted to get there like record time so they would not put the correct amount of lifeboats on the Titanic, which was so crazy to me, guys. I mean, I was just like, damn. Because they wanted the ship to move faster, and they thought that having less lifeboats would automatically make the ship move much faster. But let's keep this going here. This is amazing interview, man. Wow, dude.
Smith so much that we went straight for the ice. There was no question about it. We were absolutely thrown away. That ship was thrown away.
Why, though?
Why? For the sake of speed. We shouldn't have been anywhere near there.
Crazy.
Because we had warnings that there was ice, and there was ice all over the place. We had it from ships and shore.
Ice warnings, yeah.
And we went straight ahead as if there was nothing there in our way.
Pause. So what he was saying is that they were getting before they hit the iceberg, they were already getting these ice warnings. And I guess the bridge and people behind the captain's orders basically were saying that let's keep it going. You know, Bruce Ismay wants the ship to keep going, and we want to go full steam ahead. And they were getting ice warnings. Can you imagine? You're on the Titanic, not knowing that they were given ice warnings. Like, as a passenger, knowing that there was ice warnings given out, I would have been flipping, going crazy, dude. I mean, bro, that's your life right there. That's insane. And the fact that this guy freaking survived it is even more insane. This is a straight warrior, straight legend right here. Let's keep it going.
Does the memory of that night still haunt you now?
Well, tonight I shall think a lot about it. Can't help it, can you?
Wow.
Did you think at any stage you were going to die?
I didn't give it a thought when I was on the ship, and I didn't give it a thought when I dropped in the water, but I gave it a long thought when I was on my own and everybody else seemed to be dead round me. And then I thought I was going to die. But I had a life jacket on, and I had another one tucked under me and a cushion, and I was just paddling towards where I saw the lifeboats, we sent up rockets from the bridge, and I could see where the lifeboats there were. I was on the poop, and I had a very good view.
What a dreadful scene that must have been, Major Prentice. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Wow. That's insane, guys. Frank Prentice, he just basically said that he was hanging on the back of the Titanic, and he gave you that interview, and what a legend. I mean, what a crazy way to just go out, like, survive the Titanic. And just being on the back of the Titanic as it's going into the Atlantic Ocean, Northern Atlantic, and everything he had to see, the lady he helped on the boat, and wow. That's crazy. So many things happen on the Titanic, but this one here, man, Frank Prentice. But thank you guys for watching this reaction of the Titanic. We got more reactions coming up, more videos. Man, that one's crazy. Thank you guys for joining, and we definitely got more. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Until the next time, you guys know what to do, man. Peace.